So we here to approve the $299,597.50.
It's actually not on the budget, on the agenda.
Oh, okay.
The only thing they got on there is the progress report.
That takes care of that.
So we'll get it on next meeting's agenda. But
Yeah, get that, do get it approved or answer questions or whatever on that, because we kind of need that
Well, I'm
authorization.
assuming the water and sewer committee should be meeting on this kind of stuff anyway. I don't know if you guys have any of this.
I'd like to make a motion to send this proposal to water and sewer.
I'll second.
been moved and seconded by George and Mary Jo to send the amendment to the water and sewer committee. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So that will get sent to water and sewer.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Kevin.
All right, we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Is it appropriate, Mr. Mayor, at this time to do anything? I mean, I'm wondering if the council should do a recommendation to water and sewer to negotiate the fix at the fairgrounds to add a 70-30 percentage, 70% county, 30% city, or something of that nature.
Yeah, when I get this probably ready for the thing, I'll call one of the commissioners, have them come over at that meeting, and you can discuss it with them at the Water and Sewer Committee.
Yeah, I know the mayor and the commissioners had talked about it prior, but I was not privy to what their discussion was.
That's what it is, we didn't, it blew up, and what are we gonna do about it? We had to replace it, and that's what kind of, that's about the only discussion there's been on that,
I thought that they were stuck kind of at the 50-50 mark, and Mayor Clacken had wanted the city to actually assume less of the liability, and that it was more of a county issue, but that's where it was left.
That's pretty much where it's left since then, there's two different ways of looking at it. People say, oh, well, they built buildings on top of our water line, but the water line was supposed to be over by the fence, and
They knew where the water line was when they built the building.
Yeah, I
It wouldn't be asking to
Yeah.
add onto it.
and then all the other stuff going on. Because they said, they don't know what blew the main line, and if it is even a main line, if it's a service line, until they dig underneath the building, so. It's gonna be, it's have to be a negotiation with the county and say, hey, what's going on here? This is what, and we could go, we'll fix it, we'll go around your building. And, we'd assume all that costs and figure it out, or,
Oh, I don't think any of us thought that was the way it was gonna
Yeah.
happen.
there's
Was that the
different.
city would pick up the entire bill? Maybe I'm incorrect,
If we had to go repair a main line, it's the city cost. If it's a main line.
So if there'd been anybody in the county and build a building on top of the main line, we'd just tear the building down, repair it, and say, build another building somewhere else. So, and again, they knew they was building the buildings on top of the main line, because they had to dig down and hook the water line into it. So when they got done hooked on the main line, they knew where it was at. So there wasn't any, like, we didn't know where it was there.
But that's a go into this, the Water and Sewer Committee will discuss it and have fun times.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
George Warner, I'd like to opine on this just a little bit for your benefit. When I was mayor, the county was paying at the fairgrounds alone around $21,000 a year. About 15 years ago, their rates were reduced substantially to about $3,500, $4,500 for their hookups and their water usage down there. Now, when the commission asked me to reduce that rate, I made a similar statement like Mr. Graham did, that half of the county was in the city. And we keep picking up all these costs. So I wasn't going to alleviate their general fund budget at the expense of our ratepayers. Now, the subsequent administration did exactly that. And I talked to the lawyers that were involved in the discussion that set it up. And so for probably 15 years, the county has gotten away with probably 15,000 plus a year, less than what they were paying when I was mayor. So one thing you have to keep in mind, there's a lot of past history where this has been fudged and money has been taken from certain funds. For instance, the sewer replacement liner was all diverted to a private project. So one thing that you have to keep in mind, and Mr. Graham is correct, the ratepayers have been stressed and they've been paying for other people's stuff. So go in with that negotiation in mind. You've got the records, you can look up and verify what I'm saying. But yes, you need to take care of these ratepayers, and they should be paying, I hate to use the phrase, their fair share, but it's the truth. They were paying it in the past, and they should be covering it now, too.
George, about 2 years ago, we adjusted their water rate, much to their concern, because they started paying it for an extra 1 million gallons of water a year. It was part of the water loss, because it was unmetered. So they have been paying considerably more the last 2 years, closer to their fair share.
Do you know how much that is?
Don't have to ask Cammy to give them
Well,
some.
my basic point is, zero was when they were paying 21,000 bucks a year. I wasn't going to reduce it to them for anything because they had it in their budget. And all it was doing was alleviating their general fund so they could utilize those monies for whatever they wanted. That was going directly to the city. Now the city's been picking up for 15 years. And sure, it's the ratepayers. It didn't affect our general fund either. But it's affected our rates. And some of those necessary rate increases were based on the fact that out of the city, those entities didn't have to cover. So,
That's been addressed to some extent now.
as long as it has, just
We're about to readdress it citywide, so.
Yeah.
Okay, more discussion on the progress report for the water line. Okay, moving on. Citizens' requests.
Mr. Mayor, what is A and D in that 11152?
I'm thinking it's supposed to be A and O.
I'd say no.
There's another spot where it's A and D farther back as well, that's why I was curious.
Yeah.
Oh, also on 3159, on the last page, first item, Jason talked with the Human Society. I think that's supposed to be Humane Society.
Jason doesn't talk much, so.
What was that number again?
The one at the top of page 3, 11159.
I thought I heard a 3 in there.
It needs an extra E, but 3.
I think if we look at the citizen request, we can see that our new dog catcher is actually trying to do something anyway. I think there ought to be a little pat on the back for it.
Who is it, him?
I would agree with that.
The dogs seem to know when he's around.
They
Must have
They
been
stop barking.
And with that, I guess, there's a rumor going around in the community that the city of Dillon is out capturing feral cats. We have traps out around the community to catch ferals. That is not true. We are not doing that.
I know there was a prior request from a homeowner, that there's some feral cats under her porch.
We have done that in the past, but no, this seems to be a general, the city is out there with traps going after ferals. No, we are not doing that.
The Humane Society still aren't taking cats, are they?
No, they're not. I've had several people approach me today about the cat gossip. It's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Any other comments on citizen requests? Okay, moving on. Reports of officers and boards of the city. Library Board, Diane Armstrong.
Well, nothing to report at this time. We do have a meeting on Tuesday.
The attorney, Ms. Farmer.
I'm still here.
Still here, deciding if you want to stay here?
It's, getting accustomed to the position, making some, improvements upstairs, slowly but surely. Other than that, just being familiarized with the goings on in the city. So thank you for all the friendly welcomes that I've received and all the hard questions. So other than that, everything seems to be, nothing's fallen apart yet.
We're so happy you haven't resigned.
What's going on with the county suit?
With the county suit, that has, so prior to my arrival, it had been put on hold, so to speak. Jim had requested that they have a continuance, and opposing counsel had agreed. Since then, I think it's been 2 weeks ago that I had a phone conference with opposing counsel. There's two, one out of Bozeman, one out of Livingston. And we just made introductions, got caught up on where it is procedurally, and came to an agreement on a new scheduling order. That's been filed with the court. We've had the scheduling order, and so we have some new dates set for deadlines to get things picked up and rolling. We extended some of the discovery deadlines out about 3 months, just to give time to get our responses in, get our requests out. So it's moving again, but there's no big hearings or anything coming up soon. So it's in early stages, and it was before I came on.
You guys didn't want it to get lost in the weeds.
No, it's not. That was one of the first things that was addressed.
Are there any other cases out there that we should be aware of?
No pending cases. We do have the Shuett matter, and that's being addressed right now. I've met with Andy Sunrum, that's opposing counsel on that. I don't want to call it a case because it isn't actually a case, but Andy and I have been in discussions, also have been in discussions with Todd and the mayor. We're speaking with MMIA on requests that have been made of them. So that one is actively being dealt with, and I have a meeting scheduled with Andy next Tuesday to regroup on where the discussions have gone between MMIA and I.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for our attorney? Okay, Planning Board, Mr. Hand.
No meeting, no report at this time.
Zoning Commission, Mr. Graham.
Well, we did have a meeting. I don't see anything in our packet. which is good. But, we had a meeting actually, last Tuesday, and we discussed, the deadly impact fees. And I don't know, we had quite a discussion about that, and then hopefully it'll turn into something. So, other than that, it was kind of a slow meeting. We just discussed mainly the definitions and,
Didn't you have a public hearing yesterday?
Next week.
no.
Oh, next week, we got a week early. I was just wondering how it turned out.
Yeah,
Your
no.
crystal ball's a little fuzzy yet.
Yeah, no.
Concerning the public hearing, there seems to be some misconception about what the public hearing is about. Because I've received letters and a couple phone calls about it. The public hearing is about the establishment of a agricultural business section area. It's just about the development of a new classification. It's not about zoning any particular area. There are a lot of people that think that it is about zoning a particular area. It is not. It's about the establishment of a possible new zoning classification. So that's what the hearing's about. It's not about zoning a particular area. That's at 6:30 next Tuesday night.
Well, with that concludes my report unless there's any questions. Thank you.
Moving on, Director of Operations, Mr. Hazelbaker.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to thank Dr. Johnston for his photograph that he sent in. I sent out an email asking if you didn't see it. Ms. Armstrong, I wasn't able to get one from the newspaper, so if you could provide me one. And then Joe, I need to, if you'd like to be on the city website, I'm trying to update the city website. I'm learning as I'm going, so if you could photograph. If not, you run the risk of me finding one for you.
I'll find one. I'll find one. I'm gonna get on the website. I didn't turn one in either. It's scary.
Well, I have to admit, I've used you as my practice, trying to learn how to do it. And I think Cameron was there for a while. My daughter was there for a while, trying to see how that process works.
So you say the mayor only has 3 eyes?
So if you could do that, I'd appreciate it. Just general things going on around the city. Just trying to stay ahead of some things. We've got some water issues. The guys have been great getting to them. We've had some water main breaks. And guys have been great getting to those. So I really don't have anything specific to report. So if you happen to answer any questions.
No questions, we'll move on. Our police department, Chief Giberson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just have a few things to talk about. One, the first being that Officer Stewart, Joel Stewart, received a letter this afternoon actually from the state of Montana thanking him for his cooperation and in the SACI program, which is the sexual assault kit program. They're trying to go through the whole state and reorganize that, and they used him kind of as a guinea pig on how to investigate these things and what to do with these kids so we can maintain them for a long period of time in case a defendant comes forward or we're able to find something with DNA. He worked pretty hard on that, and I just want to give that shout out for that. And then also on my list was that Jason has done a really good job as far as a dog catcher, the animal control officer in doing that. Our officers met at a squad meeting with Ms. Farmer, and we're very pleased, and the officers are very pleased with what she's doing. And thank you so much for everything that you're doing. It's very nice to have you there. And at the same time, Samantha and Cammie and Mr. Belly, Mr. I couldn't think of her first name for a minute there, but that name sticks out. So thank you for everything you guys are doing. It's been fun to talk with you. We Todd as well. And we've been dealing with some scheduling and some illness stuff. Once again, it comes all the time. Vacation, illness is just, is knocking us back. But we're doing pretty good, we're staggering. I think one person, like, gets another person sick, so you gotta wait 5 days for them to get sick. So at least they're all sick at once, they're just passing around each other. So, we're dealing with that, and, things are going pretty good, busy as always, but things seem to be running pretty good, and I'll be more happy to answer any questions, Jeff. With that. Thank you.
Okay, moving on then. No questions for Chief Iverson. Our fire department, Chief Closey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In your packet, you'll find the city clerk's report for the fire hall for January of 2022. Ask for approval of the budget versus expenditures for the fire hall for January 2022. And ask for approval of the January 2022 activity report.
Move to approve. Second?
It's been moved by Raymond, seconded by Dan to approve the 3 items on our discussion about them. Comments?
Call for the question.
Question's been called for. All in favor of approving the city clerk's report for the fire hall for January 2022? Approve the budget versus expenditures for the fire hall for January 2022, and approve the January 2022 activity report. Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
City Court, Judge Minor, she had no report to send us this way, so she's not here. Treasurer Karen Kipp, not here. Our tree board, Miss O'Rourke.
Yes, in your packet you'll find the December 7th meeting minutes and the January 10th meeting minutes for your approval, or actually just to accept. We approved them at the tree board.
Move to accept.
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 Second.
Okay, been moved by Diane and seconded by Dan to accept the minutes of the December 7th, 2021 and January 10th, 2022. Questions, comments, corrections?
Just that the agenda says they're both 2022s.
We will fix our agenda.
Unless somebody has an objection, we'll modify the agenda.
Getting a little ahead of the game.
That's right. That's what I call proactive in the tree board.
Now, I missed it, Don, I'm sorry. I should have
On your
missed it.
agenda,
On our agenda,
Uh-huh.
it says December 7th, 2022 instead of 2021.
Oh, that's right, that's right. Okay, well, you know, Don, we put that in there just for you.
you're enabled like I am.
Call for the question.
Okay, questions are called for to accept the December 7th, 2021 minutes and January 10th, 2022 minutes. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, nay? Motion carries unanimously.
And we have 2 action items, and it is to appoint, confirm and appoint Riley Stevenson to the tree board. Riley is new to town. As a matter of fact, I think he and his wife moved to town last week from like Polson, some Whitefish, somewhere up there. And they had to stop their move because they had pre-planned, I think, this week to be in Hawaii. So they're still in shuffle, but he is here. He works with DNRC. He is their, what would be called an area forester. He takes, he replaces a young man who was on our tree board a couple of years ago. But it's good to have a forester on that tree board. Yeah, he he replaces Jason, what was Jason's last name?
Glenn,
Glenn?
Jason Glenn.
Glenn, yeah. He replaces Jason. So we have been, I mean, that's really been a hole in the tree board. What those foresters, the way they help us is we have a set of software which allows us to, we've inventoried the entire city in their trees, so we have that inventory done, but we have notes from the last 2 years of what trees we have taken down and what trees we have pruned. Those need to go in. And then we also have, because our ash trees are under such stress, and we could lose those if the emerald ash borer ever makes it into Dillon, we would lose those quickly. We've taken some special care of ash trees, especially on Idaho Street. And so all those notes need to go into that software. And I think that's where Riley will be especially helpful.
Aren't you a little concerned if he thinks he's in Hawaii?
If he's in Hawaii. He'll come back rested.
So, yeah. I would like to appoint him and ask the council to confirm Riley Stevenson to the tree board.
Move to approve.
Second.
Been moved by Dan, seconded by Don. Any other questions on Riley?
Then the next one was
Well,
to
let's-
appoint.
Let's vote on this one first, Mary Jo.
Call for the
You want
question.
him, okay.
Yeah, we'll learn one at a time. If people have questions, we'll do one. So, all in favor of confirming Riley Stevenson to tree board, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? He's been confirmed unanimously.
And the other one is to appoint Jacob Harvey. I think we have, many of us know Jim, and this is Jim's son, Jacob, and he will be our student representative. Ainsley Shipman is our student representative now, but Ainsley will be graduating, and Jacob will follow in her footsteps. And he's a real bright young man and very helpful.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Dan, seconded by Diane to approve Jacob Harvey to the tree board. Any other discussion on Jacob?
Call for the question.
Okay, all in favor of Jacob Harvey to the tree board, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
And we just have one, the tree board has one vacancy left, and it will be filled. It'll be on the docket for next, or on our agenda for at the next meeting. We're lucky in Dillon, we do have a licensed certified arborist in town, and that has been another hole in the tree board, but we're going to be able to fill that, I believe.
Any other questions for Ms. O'Rourke about the tree board? Okay, then moving on to reports of the standing committees of the city council. Judiciary Committee, Mr. Nye.
Go for it.
No meeting, no report.
We actually had a meeting yesterday. And we're looking a little bit at the marijuana recreational use deal. So our next Judiciary Committee meeting, we would like the city attorney to be there and Chief Garberson to give us some input.
Let me know what that is.
It's usually, what, the third Tuesday?
Third Tuesday, I'll make sure I'll give you both a call.
Okay, thank you.
Third Wednesday. Third Wednesday. Or third Tuesday.
That's, other than no minutes yet, so that's the end of my
Hey,
report.
Dan, did you get a copy of those marijuana books from the state, the guides for cities and towns?
No, we have not. I haven't. I didn't know anything about it.
So I looked through the state codes over here on that, what they have about marijuana.
Pat about that thick. Came out of hell.
Oh, no. You
I
know
got
what?
one bring over, right?
Oh, okay, thank you.
It may help you, it may not. You can make better reference of it.
Any other questions? Moving on then, Finance Committee, Mr. Hand.
No meeting until, let's see, Thursday after this one, at 3 in the afternoon. Jen's my report.
Fire and Order Committee, Mr. Johnston.
No meeting, no report.
Health and Welfare, Diane Armstrong.
No meeting, no report.
Cemetery Committee, Mr. Joe Brandon.
No meeting, no report.
Parks Committee, Miss Mary Jo O'Rourke.
No meeting, no report.
City Hall Committee, Mr. Raymond Graham.
No meeting, no report, but have we got anything back from our insurance claim and stuff for our roof?
No. I talked to him today. I gotta talk to him again, so I'll be with him tomorrow.
Okay, I need to get on that.
Okay, and Street and Alley Committee, Mr. Nye.
No meeting, no report.
Water and Sewer Committee, Mr. Hand.
No meeting, no report.
ARPA Committee, Mr. Swan, he's not here. They did not have a meeting. Okay, public comment on items of significant public interest not on the agenda but within the jurisdiction of the city.
Move to adjourn.
Second?
Okay, it's been moved by Mary Jo, seconded by Diane to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned at 8:30.
What did?